Welcome to St. Anthony's Catholic Church in Farnham Royal, Slough, England. Today is the 7th of September, 2025, 23rd Sunday, in Ordinary Time. The Gospel reading today is from Luke chapter 14 verses 25 to 33. Anyone who does not renounce all that he is cannot be my disciple. At that time, great crowds accompanied Jesus, and he turned and said to them, "If anyone comes to me and does not hate his own father and mother, and wife and children, and brothers and sisters, yes, and even his own life, he cannot be my disciple. Whoever does not bear his own cross and come after me cannot be my disciple. For which of you, desiring to build a tower, does not first sit down and count the cost, whether he has enough to complete it? Otherwise, when he has laid a foundation and is not able to finish, all who see it begin to mock him, saying, 'This man began to build and was not able to finish.' Or what king, going out to encounter another king in war, will not sit down first and deliberate whether he is able with 10,000 to meet him who comes against him with 20,000? And if not, while the other is yet a great way off, he sends a delegation and asks for terms of peace. So therefore, any one of you who does not renounce all that he has cannot be my disciple."
The letter to Philemon, from where our second reading is taken from, is indeed one of the shortest books in the Bible. It has only one chapter. That makes for an easy reading, a fast one indeed. However, it is a very interesting story. It is like a personal letter from Paul to his friend Philemon. Now let us situate the story. Philemon was a wealthy Christian convert. He had a slave called Onesimus. While still serving as a slave under his master Philemon, Onesimus ran away. While still on the run, he met Paul in Rome. Paul was a prisoner at the time, and Paul also was a friend of his master Philemon. So he stayed with Paul and then became a Christian. After some time, Paul decided to send him back to his friend, his master, Philemon, and then wrote a letter asking Philemon, "Please, for my sake and in my honor, accept back Onesimus, no longer as a slave, but now as a friend and as a brother." And that is the part we read this morning. Now, reading the story of Philemon and Onesimus as recorded in the Bible, two questions would usually come to your mind. Number one is, why did Onesimus run away from his master Philemon? Number two, why didn't Paul keep him? Because Paul expressed in the letter that he had need of Onesimus, that he would have loved to keep him. Rather, he decided to send him back. So why didn't he keep him? Why did he send him back to his master Philemon? The first question, why did he run away? The Bible didn't tell us exactly why Onesimus ran away from his master Philemon. However, the general understanding and traditional interpretation is that Onesimus stole from his master, maybe money or property, and out of fear, he ran away. But besides this, there could be other reasons why a slave like Onesimus may run away from their master. It could be that Onesimus was tired of being a slave. He wanted freedom. He wanted a new identity. He wanted a better relationship, so he ran away. It could also be that Onesimus had a quarrel, a fight with his master Philemon, so he ran away. It could also be that life was becoming more difficult and more challenging for him in the house of his master Philemon. Life was becoming more frustrating, so he decided to run away to have a breath of fresh air, to see life from another perspective. Whatever be the case, whatever made Onesimus run away from the master, the fact is that there was a problem. There was a situation, so he decided to run away from that situation. He decided to run away from that problem. Sometimes we can find ourselves also in the situation of Onesimus, when we think that running away from a problem is the best solution. But let's go back to why Paul didn't keep him. Rather, he sent him back. Paul could have kept him for himself because he had that need. He would have loved him to serve him while he was in prison. But he sent him back. Maybe, I think Paul must have said to Onesimus, for how long will you be running away from your master? Will you be running away from Philemon all the days of your life? You need to go back and fix that problem. You need to go back and sort it out. I'm going to help you by writing a letter ahead to beg my friend, your master, to welcome you back. But you need to go back and stop running. I remember when I was quite younger, my mother has this beautiful ceramic jug. He warned us never to use it without her permission. We respected that. In fact, we avoided that jug. One day, I didn't know what came over me, and I picked that jug without her permission. In the process, it fell off from my hands and broke, shattered. I knew immediately there was going to be a big problem. So I hurriedly packed my things and ran away. I ran to her sister, my aunt, and stayed there for a week and few days. She knew where I was, so she never bothered looking for me. But I tell you, it wasn't easy then staying with my aunt because there were a lot of house chores to be done, and I wasn't ready for those things. So at a point, I said to myself, you need to go back. So I went back home. When my mother saw me, she said to me, "Are you finished running away? Are you tired of running?" I said, "But I'm here now." She said, "Okay, if you are here now, go and fix my jug." I said, "Your jug? It's been a weekend." "Yes, you think running away, it will fix itself. Now that you have stopped running, let's talk about the broken jug. Don't ask me how I was punished, because the punishment was indeed severe. But I discovered two things. That my running away didn't fix that problem. Rather, on the contrary, it aggravated my mother's anger. Because while she was punishing me, she kept saying to me, next time, when you make a mess of a situation, don't run away from it. Human being psychology will tell us that when we encounter a challenge, when we encounter a problem, psychologically, the responses are two. Either to flight, that is flight, or to fight. Flight is to run away from that problem, that situation, or to fight means to confront it, to stay there, to address the situation. Often we tend to take the flight option, to run away. And that is exactly what Paul avoided. He said to Philemon, you can't keep running. You can't keep running away from Philemon. That's what he said to Onesimus. So go back. Sometimes we think that when we run away from a problem, it will be fixed. It doesn't usually happen. Sometimes we think that when we run away from a challenge, it will no longer be there when we come back. Usually it doesn't happen that way. Sometimes when we run away from a reality facing us, it doesn't change. So today, in the light of Onesimus running away from his master Philemon, can we ask, is there something you are running away from? Something you don't want to address? Something you don't want to talk about? a challenge that you run away from. I think sometimes we need just to stop and say to ourselves, for how long will I keep running? Will I be running all the days of my life? I need to go back and fix that situation and address it and talk about it. When we encounter problems, psychology will tell us flight or fight. I don't know the option you choose, but most often, running away doesn't fix it.
Please follow us for weekly gospel.